Thank you, dear Spirit, for your love, your support. As we open the sacred container of support, knowledge, and understanding, I call upon Archangel Michael to shield and protect this space. Clear, remove, and send to a perfect place all entities that don't serve the highest good of the soul that is watching this video. I ask that all entities are removed and sent to the light. I asked Archangel Raphael to apply healing to the soul at all levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Thank you, Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael. I call upon Archangel Metatron to help us connect to our higher self and connect to our spiritual understanding so we can integrate all that is shared today and feel it in our hearts so that we can connect to our inner truth. Thank you, Spirit, for your love and support, for this opportunity, this sacred opportunity that I have here to share all that you want to share here through this channel. Thank you. Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing Channel. My name is Jakara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And I mainly work with the Akashic Records to clear energies that can potentially be affecting you in this lifetime that come from other lifetimes. And I basically come in here to share all information that I learned throughout my sessions, as well as any questions that that are asked here. And today I kind of wanted to talk about a question that I thought was really interesting that a client of mine brought up, um, then I thought about it, and I thought, well, you know what? Maybe some people might not know about this, so let's get started. So, if you're interested to know and find out if someone that have passed can be cleared in the Akashic Records, then I want to invite you to stay tuned and continue watching this video. So recently I had a client reach out to me. She emailed me and she asked me about a family member who she wanted to clear. And of course, you know, before we clear anyone, we always want to ask for permission. But in her situation, it was a little different. This client had a family member who has passed away. And she was kind of curious to know if there was something that we can do to help the soul of the soul of her family member really move on and not carry any karmic baggage with the soul, right? And I thought, wow, this is such a beautiful question, and I've never really had anyone ask me that question. But I thought, you know what? Yes, let's talk about this because I think it's important. It's an important path of healing for us, not only for ourselves, but also to understand how the mechanics of the soul work. So, if you're curious if a soul can be cleared, yes, they can. A soul that has passed away, someone that has passed away, a loved one that has passed away, they can be cleared, and we can actually clear any energies that are left behind from the soul, so that they can really just be focused on the present moment wherever they are at that moment. So um one of the things we want to consider is, well, first we still want to ask for permission, but we ask through their higher self to make sure that their soul is in agreement for the clearing. That's the first thing that we want to do. And the second thing that we want to do is we want to check for any programs that are still active from this lifetime, right? So anything that was from this lifetime that was still active, we want to clear. And then sometimes there's programs that were meant to be expressed in the future that didn't get to be expressed. So what I'm talking about here is it's a twofold situation. The first part is we clear stuff that was already active, that was, you know, being carried out, you know, for a while, and it was already, you know, affecting the person while they were alive. The second part is clearing programs that were meant to be expressed on that lifetime that didn't get to be expressed on that lifetime, and then that didn't get resolved. So because, and this is such a beautiful gift, right, that a family member can give to someone that has passed, is because you are quite literally taking away a load, a karmic load away from a loved one, and you are gifting them the opportunity to really continue their path without having to carry all this extra stuff, all this extra baggage that they don't need at the moment. So I thought it was really interesting because, again, we are able to clear all the stuff that was meant to be, expressed in the future, right? If they left too early, and so we are able to clear that and then help them in their transition fully into their new journey, right? So the interesting thing about this, though, is that we also want to make sure that all of the soul has transitioned. Sometimes the soul can stay behind, like there's like a little bit of the essence of that soul that stays behind. Sometimes there could be an attachment to the family members, like, the attachment meaning that not wanting to leave or wanting to comfort the family members, so leaving some of that essence behind. But we want to make sure that we help the soul transition over. So what we do is that we go ahead and we help them transition over, and we clear anything that is left behind there. Believe it or not, there could also be certain programs that are created at the time of death of the of that person. So being born and ending our lives, like these two spots of our lives, can be very traumatic. It can be very traumatic coming from, from this really wonderful loving place. You're coming from spirit, and you're in this, like, this wonderful, like, amazing energy, and then you come here and then you have all of this duality, all of these negative energies, and you're like, what is going on? And it could be traumatic for a soul. So a lot of times when I do clearings for clients, that's something that's an element that gets cleared for a lot of people, is that when they're in the womb or when they're born. However, there's also the other side of the coin, which is when the soul is transitioning over. Because the transitions can be a little jarring, it could be a little, the being in the 3D and not longer being in the 3D, and the veil, uncovering for the soul, it can be really scary sometimes. So there could be programs there as well for the soul that they carry over. So it's really a good idea to check that as well. So we can check to see if there's anything that was basically at the time of death, and then we clear those programs, so that way they don't have to carry that over and have to deal with it in the next lifetime. Now, another question that I thought was really interesting that was asked was, can we clear someone, as soon as they have passed on? And I would say no. We want to accept and respect the process of the soul. We want to respect their process of transition, right? So, what I would recommend for someone who has transitioned, especially if it's a transition that was expected, and wasn't traumatic, there was no murder, nothing, bad, or a car accident, something that was just expected, I would recommend for us to allow the soul to go through their process. Now, we can also check and tap into the records and see if the soul needs something earlier, right? So I would say we want to wait at least 7 days to check, but I recommend to wait longer to check. But if there's something more crucial, such as a car accident or murder, something that was like really traumatic for that human being who was suddenly taken away and stolen, their life was stolen from them, and it was quite traumatic, then I would recommend to check at least within the maximum, I would say 3 days. I wouldn't go earlier than that. And the reason why is because if sometimes they could get lost, and then at that point, then they could potentially just be lost souls here on the planet, just trying to find their way. And sometimes they're trying to figure out what happened. Sometimes they don't even know that that they have transitioned. So this kind of helps them move into that new journey of theirs. So yeah, so the beauty of the Akashic records is that we're tapping into the soul records. So the soul information is there. We don't necessarily have to have the person alive to be able to clear them. Actually, it is a beautiful thing. It's one of the best gifts you can give a loved one, is to give them the gift of relief, especially energetic and karmic relief, because then they're able again to move forward in their path, to learn new lessons and to learn new things, and to ascend, in a speedy way. So I hope this helped you, uh, answer that question. If you had that question, maybe you didn't have this question in your mind, but maybe this now opened your mind into understanding the beauty of what we can do in the Akashic records, and how we can definitely connect to our loved ones and help them heal as well. We can also honor them and help them heal as well. So let me know in the comments, do you feel this is something that you would like to do for a loved one? Or is this something that you may not feel so open to do, and maybe goes against your belief system? And that's perfectly fine if it's not something that you feel that you would like to do. But if you do feel called to do it, then definitely do consider doing a clearing. You could always go into my website, thebloominglotushealing.com, and book a session. And then we can always take care of your loved one in that matter as well. So I want to thank you again for watching this entire time. I want to invite you to make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to this channel. If you haven't yet shared any of my videos, I invite you to share them. If you feel like this video can help someone, please do share this video, like this video, comment on the video. All of your support is greatly appreciated. I cannot express to you how much it means to me to be supported, to feel that support from you guys. It really means the world to me. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. Namaste.